taking out to kill stage me for taking out Anti.
You know what? Tell him. Tell him later.
We'll tell him later. We'll talk about it later. We got Dio. We got King Arc. This is actually a matchup I'm excited to see. Once again, we got a Mega Man. Rather notable Mega Man. And Dio, one of the finer names of Long Island.
King Arc was the first man to footstool combo me, IRL.
IRL, that's impressive. Where did he hide the Metal Blade?
Anyway, though, let's also talk about this matchup because King Arc, an extremely strong player with huge wins under his belt, most notably, I believe, Angel Cortez. But he's fighting up against Dio Sheik, and I do know that Sheik is a character that most Mega Man sort of complain about.
With good reason. You see, what makes Mega Man such a potent character is because of the kind of pressure and opportunities provided to him, thanks to the lemons, if you will. Which, 3 consecutive tiny hitboxes that can interrupt your opponent, as well as provide you ample openings for going in. That kind of gets neutralized as far as being special when Sheik constantly has, like, anywhere between 1 to 6 of them at the ready, anywhere, at any time, while having a majority of options available to her.
I mean, in addition to that, I think Sheik actually has 3 separate moves that completely nullify Mega Man's neutral. She has Needles, she has a Nair, which beats out all the lemons. And then also forward air, I've heard, is something that is really hard for Mega Man to deal with.
It just ends up creating a ledge situation that Mega Man doesn't like because Sheik's going to constantly have an option to reset it. And that's where percentages builds up. However, if the Sheik's not able to land the kill, Mega Man does have the panic buttons needed to be able to clean up a stock well, as we see the up smash come through and give King Arc first blood in this set.
Yeah, a really clean read there. And so now we do get to see how Dio will try and close out this stock. And the more and more extra credit that King Arc manages to tack on, the more and more dangerous this is going to become. Sheik is pretty good at approaching Mega Man, but, if she doesn't have to approach him, that's definitely preferred. Oh, there was tons of weird, just jab, leaf, weird stuff going on there.
Leaf's a fun tool when, it's not being exposed for being one of the worst projectiles in the game. A constantly revolver hitbox that can help Gimp? That's really cool. Dying at 170. It's not as cool, but Dio only recurred 46% throughout that stock. So long as he's able to stay evasive and not allow King Arc to oppress his movement options, this is still doable for him.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that King Arc's power shields have been clean. Consistently he's been power shielding these forward airs from Sheik. And yeah, she's super safe, but when the opponent power shields, all that safeness pretty much goes out the window. Ooh, but stuck on the ledge can be a really dangerous spot, and it's still going, managing to sneak in the up air to finally manage to reset to neutral.
Often use the early hit of Mega Up Air. If you're not going to get a kill, it's still a fine tool because, like its original intention, it's a sweet anti-air for what it is when it's not a very aggressive kill option. Either way, it is going to be giving King Arc the stage control he needs to try and get a lead situation in his favor against Dio. But Dio's coming in swift with that forward air and getting quickly chucked for game 1. People tend to forget that back throw is pretty potent. It's not Master Toon-Link tier, but considering how much of Mega Man's kit allows him to just go for grabs consistently,
yeah,
it's a noteworthy back throw.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the sort of thing where when you're fighting Mega Man, there ends up becoming a percent where you're like, oh, and now I can't get grabbed. And you're like, what can I do?
You either eat the back air, you suffer the back throw, or you have your shield just pressured to a million bits because of projectiles. But did we see a character switch? I feel like we saw to Lucina.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, depending on how well Dio knows this matchup, this could be a trouble for King Arc because Lucina and Mart's Blades manages to just barely meet the spacing of max distance lemons.
The one thing I will say, though, is we saw before how consistent King Arc was with his power shields. And again, this match started immediately with a power shield. And power shielding is kind of the bane of a lot of these sword characters that love to space. So if King Arc manages to be really consistent with that, all of the disjoint effectively, loses its spacing just prowess.
Yeah, this man came here to collect tonight. He's looking to prove a point.
Ooh, but he ends up falling right into the the hilt of that shield breaker. Yeah, and actually, Dio doing it. Never mind.
Abysmal job of cleaning up that stock. He went so deep without really being able to secure where King Ark's location is. And Mega Man having fairly decent aerial drift as well as many dangerous options in the air allowed King Ark to turn the situation right on Dio's head.
Yeah, and so now, again with these lemons, yeah, they're not like stopping the approach, but it's especially once you lose the first stock and you have to start worrying about, like, you don't want to take any damage. Every one of those little chips is like a mental blow. Yeah, it's like, what was that, 5%? But you know that it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, he's got the lock. Oh, but he didn't go for the proper setup. He went for the Styles finish. But I like it. It shows that, he knows the timing for that lock. And given the percentages, he would have been better off going for maybe up smash or maybe teching that corner. But
that would have been a good option.
Would have kept his stock alive a little bit longer. Either way, Dio's sitting on 64%. It's just enough rage that he needs to try and bring things back and keep Mega Man at a safer distance. He's already done a fine job of taking the percentage back, but as we've really seen throughout this set, percentage isn't that big of a difference so much as who's truly in control of the stage and who's got the safe landings.
Ooh, interesting dash attack. That might have been a bit of a flub.
That's looking like a missed input. Typically speaking, you don't want to see Mega Man using his dash attack. Topspin is just terrible overall. It doesn't really rack up damage, and it mispositions Mega Man awfully because of its terrible unlock.
All right. Oof, nice read there. Gets the roll and actually manages to put him off stage again. Oh, okay, but he's going to be hanging on there.
Very smart option from Dio, opting to use the fair just to clear the ledge space. The Leaf Shield doesn't spin fast enough to really allow Mega Man to contest that, and King Ark wasn't in a position to be able to punish.
In this, wow, Dio, I guess, expecting some type of buffered option, and King Ark rather, but Dio not giving it to him. And now we are at this extremely close game. Pretty much any hit from either one of these players will close it out. The neutral air once again putting Dio in the corner, but that's not enough. King Ark needs to close out this stock, and every time he gets put off stage, he loses all of this positioning, and it could mean the end for him. And there
Up air is going to clean things up, and we're going to be going into Game 3 as Dio manages to not only steal the metal blade, but get in a nice little up air and make sure that King Ark's landings are continuing to be unsafe. That's a big issue in this matchup, because as you saw, as King Ark was able to make sure that Dio didn't have room to move, he was just constantly eating damage. But as soon as things got to the ledge, and for both of these players, where punish options started to dwindle a little bit, be a bit more readable, things started to become safer. We're moving into Final Destination for Game 3, and I feel like what we were just discussing about the ledge is going to be even further emphasized. This stage is nothing but ledge play and punishing landings.
Oh yeah, and a lot of it also is that neutral. There are no platforms to play around. There's no escape option for you. It's basically just added. These two people are going to be duking it out. Look at all these hitboxes. Just everywhere. And
he's got the footstool. He's channeling a little bit of mystery over there. A very quick kill for Dio. And King Ark's suddenly looking at game point right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely still doable for him. Especially, he's shown that he has the ability to go for those lock setups. And if he manages to get one of those, it will be pretty much, I mean, at this point, it'll even it up. But besides that, it can be pretty hard for... okay.
He goes for the equal disrespect now. All right, they're playing on even footing. There's a bit of a screwy off-stage play at multiple points. It looked like Dio would have already been dead, but King Ark, now he's playing to make a statement.
I have to say, the aggression just got, jumped up to 11. Both these players now just, pushing tons of buttons, throwing out all of these hitboxes. And King Ark's still on the ledge, but, he's being much more aggressive in terms of how he gets back now. He clips him with that metal blade, but it's not really going to lead to anything. And once again, he's in the corner.
All right. I feel like Dio would be having a much more difficult time getting in on King Ark if Ark was just holding his metal blade instead of opting to throw it using just the neutral B command or just chucking it. Because metal blade threatens so much space just by holding it, and we see King Ark constantly going for the Z drop at the ledge because that covers a good amount of space. And if he was just able to hold onto it, move around Z dropping it so that he could neutral air and cover space with lemons as well, Dio's not going to have that many options for breaking through that. But We see Dio in control of the stage, racking up damage heavily on Kinghart. Sitting at 130% now. Opting for the down throw, I like it. Gives him a little bit of damage, maybe a DI mix-up as well. And Dio is at this point aware now that Mega Man's a big boy. He's very heavy. It's going to be difficult to kill him with up throw.
But up throw is definitely still an option. That might be it. No, just hanging on. He's dead. Oh.
That's going to be it.
Wow. A little bit of a questionable DI. He lived, but he was down just too low. Mega Man falls a little too fast. And did he dip? Did he fast fall so he didn't get hit by Metal Blade?
I think.